to anybody listening within the CBD space, find that audience, understand who the influencers are that are relevant to your products, reach out to them, try to keep things very organic. It doesn't have to be highly polished. Don't go out and invest thousands of dollars in studio shots. When people want to see real live photography, real people using your products, that goes a long way.
Yeah, well said. I think it's such a curious business model, man. I think that's a very, very interesting. And on the consumer side, talking to people in a similar situation, if you have a CBD company, how this could help you. For example, I'm Aaron with CBD company A. I would reach out to Oren and say, hey, Oren, I'm looking for reach to find. I want to be able to get more people to be aware and to buy my product. Oren has access to millions of reach through Facebook profiles that are sharing content that's relevant to this topic already, and they can kind of put you into that stream of content. And by putting you into that stream of content, you're going to align with their brand, you're going to align with people interested in this idea, and it will send traffic and ideally sales to your site. So that's only one aspect of the business, including also you have this audience, this native advertising network, which I want to get into in just a second. But with that, can you tell me a little bit about attribution? I think that's probably the question you get asked the most, I would imagine. But let's say that Aaron CBDA company comes to work with you. Do you have, this might be something you don't want to talk about live, but is there standard packages that you offer depending on reach, one, and then two, how do you determine ROI and attribution of sales?
Yeah, so we definitely have standard packages that we offer, but they're constantly changing. I mean, we had a package, obviously, for 420. We created something around that. But we're always trying to find the right fit in terms of the packages that we're offering, the reach that we have, and the reach is constantly growing. So the packages obviously have to change, and times change. I mean, the packages that we had 2 months ago before COVID-19 were, vastly different than what they are today.
Totally.
So we have to make sure that they're aligned with the times and the situation and the major fluctuations happening in our industry. As you know, things are changing on an ongoing basis. If it's not viruses, then it's PayPal issues and the payment issues. And if it's not that, then it's a vaping crisis. There's always going to be something. So we just have to learn to deal with that. But yeah, we do have packages, and it all depends on the reach that we have. And the second part, the second part of your question is, how do we track ROI or results? So it really comes down to what the results that the client is looking for, whether that's social growth, which we, if that's what they're looking for, then that's what we're going to focus our energies and our attention, increasing their social channels or their follower base. If it's lead generation, then we can do that as well. We've done that for crowdfunding platforms within the cannabis space. It really, depends on what the results or the goals are. And once we understand the goals and what the product is and who their audience is, then we have to adjust, accordingly from there. I can honestly say that it's never a straightforward, we'll give us your creatives, we'll throw it onto our network and see what happens. It's really very organized. We know exactly where it's going to go live, when things are going to go live, what the goals are, whether we have to create landing pages or help create landing pages for our clients. So it's every client is vastly different from one to the other, and their goals are different. I mean, CBD products that are targeted to CBD for pets or wellness are going to require a different skill set than recreational vaporizers or grinders or rolling papers. So I wish it was as easy as saying, send us your creatives, we'll throw them onto our system, hit the magic button, and things go live. It's really never that as straightforward.
We have
there are other platforms, but the nice thing here is, as you know, Aaron, the big challenge is, and going back to one of the videos that you made, or maybe you made a few of them, about how to get your creatives live on Facebook. I mean, that's the magic formula. Everybody wants to be able to promote on Facebook, and with a lot of effort, you can. It's not it's not as straightforward. It's not as easy. If they follow your videos, maybe they'll be able to make that happen. But it's never that easy. Whereas if they ran a campaign with us, it wouldn't be a Facebook campaign in the traditional sense, but they would definitely be on Facebook, reaching a Facebook audience.
I think the key is doing both, man. That's the key. Like I'll tell you a strategy I ran once before that did really, really well. I had a guy that I paid that ran a company similar to yours, but it wasn't in the cannabis space. It was just in the wellness space. And I paid him and 3 other companies to share one of my posts to their timeline. but I then ran that post as an ad because it was a compliant ad. And by being able to do both at the same time, I boosted the engagement on the post, thus boosting the engagement on their shared post, which increased the amount of earned organic reach that they got, thus increasing the chance it went viral. Huge return, as you can imagine. And something, you know, on when you're not in the cannabis space, something I would consider offering that I would like, me being a client of yours, something I would want to do is I would love for you to share my compliant post on your hip page that you already have an audience built for, and then either I run the ad from that post that you shared or from your account, and I just give you money for ad spend to boost it to your audience. Now, if you don't have any advertising as part of your package at all, then I understand that it might not work. But you can increase the shot of any brand collaboration going viral. But you know, what's really interesting to me, it sounds like you guys are very much more paying attention to your long-term organic stats and how the algorithm looks at your page over more of a long-term posting history, so that way you can have more consistency in what you're offering. Is that true?
Yes, 100%. We're always looking at the stats, whether they're, you know, short-term stats specifically to one of the posts that we might be sharing, or over time. We definitely want to make sure that we're not, you know, posting content that negatively affects the engagement, because at the end of the day, that's what really counts. And it's the same could be said for working with any influencer, and that's one of the big mistakes that most brands make. Cannabis or not, CBD doesn't matter. A lot of people get, you know, blinded by the numbers of followers, numbers of subscribers. But if you have 100,000 followers, 1 million followers, and very low engagement rate, you know, you're just throwing money out the window. So we make sure that one of the key factors that we lean on and make sure to maintain is engagement rates. And the same could be said about our email distribution lists, the social followers, definitely. But also the display ads and everything that everything that we promote or market, we really manage and track to the finest detail. And if things are not working, you know, we might stop the campaign, change the creatives, try something else, because you never really know. Again, you might have one piece of content or creative that looks fantastic, but it just doesn't resonate with the audience. Whereas you might have something that looks much more realistic, organic, cheaper in a sense, but people really connect with it. So, you know, we're always tracking everything. And that's one of the differences between working with, you know, Facebook page owners versus working with a media network that has a marketing team that comes from a marketing background and knows exactly how to dive into those stats and details.